Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, Peter Brown with the weather, Robert Paris with sports, Marge McDonald with senior news, Ian Casciola with the Community Bulletin Board. Robert Paris actually is doing double duty tonight as a reporter and as the sports reporter. Should Burlington ban the sale of recreational marijuana? That was the focus of a discussion at the first meeting of the town's Marijuana Advisory Committee last Thursday. The group, made up of representatives of different boards, committees, and town departments, as well as a member of the Coalition for a Healthy Burlington, spoke at length about what the town could do to prevent the sale of recreational marijuana in Burlington. The town currently has a moratorium on the sale that is in place until December 18th. Planning Board member Barbara LaRue, who pushed for the moratorium and for the creation of the advisory committee, said the group had been tasked with studying the state regulations so that they could advise the town boards and town meeting what could be done with general and zoning bylaws to regulate the sale of recreational marijuana. However, during the advisory committee's first meeting, Town Council Brandon Moss explained that the law passed in November had a loophole that would allow medical marijuana dispensaries to sell recreational marijuana if the state did not meet its obligations to issue guidelines by July 1st, 2018, then medical dispensaries would be able to sell marijuana for recreational use. Since the town has allowed for medical dispensaries, the group feared the town could be subject to this loophole and have a recreational dispensary whether it wanted one or not. They also pointed to the November 2016 election results on the question of recreational marijuana that showed that Burlington residents opposing the measure 55 to 45%. Because of this, the group decided to push for a ban. This would require both a general and zoning change articles at town meeting and a ballot referendum on next year's town election ballot. We'll follow BNews more on this story as it develops. In a continued effort to keep the roads safe, the Massachusetts State Police will once again be on the lookout for intoxicated drivers this weekend. According to the State Police, they will hold a sobriety checkpoint somewhere in Middlesex County on Saturday, June 10th and Sunday, June 11th. Superintendent of the Mass State Police, Colonel Richard D. McKeon, said the purpose is to further educate the motoring public and strengthen the public's awareness of the need of detecting and removing those motorists who operate under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs from our roadways. Colonel McKeon added that the checkpoint will be operated during varied hours. The selection of vehicles will not be arbitrary. Safety will be assured, and any inconvenience to motorists will be minimized with advance notice to reduce fear and anxiety. Any residents who have children on the autism spectrum will soon have a new resource in town. The Planning Board approved a site plan waiver to the Kindle Center at 7 Cypress Drive that will allow the owner to open a daycare center on that location. The owner, Ariane Kindle, said her organization provides behavior services to children with autism and that she would like to open the daycare center to work with children on site. She said currently most of the work she and her behavior consultants currently do is at clients' homes. Kindle said that during the day she would have no more than 10 students at the school and that in the afternoon she would provide an after-school program with up to 20 students. Each student would receive one-on-one or one-on-two care from behavior consultants and therapists. Members of the Planning Board only had a couple of concerns regarding the site plan. One was a limited number of parking spots and how that would impact pickups and drop-offs. Kindle said the pickups and the drop-offs will be staggered and that because the limit on the number of students in the facility is small, she didn't see a problem. Finally, the board raised a concern about preschool being in close proximity to American Boronite Corporation at 11 Cypress Drive. That company makes boron nitride nanotubes, a high-tech material that will be used for aerospace and terrestrial applications. The material is a nanotechnology, and the board raised some concern about how well the site is monitored for air contamination. In the end, the board voted to approve the site plan waiver on the condition that the town will have the town engineer look into the monitoring and testing of American Boronite Corporation and a parking arrangement with neighboring businesses be worked out. As we've reported on BNews Weekly, there are renovations happening at the Burlington Senior Center. This week, BNews Director Rich Hosford went down to check out the progress and learn how the work is impacting the center. He files this report.
Renovations are underway at the Burlington Senior Center, and while the final product will be an improvement, for the time being, the work is making things difficult for the staff and visitors. The biggest room in the building, the Murray Kelly Room, has been cut nearly in half by a temporary wall as work progresses on the back portion of the hall. Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald said many activities normally take place in the room.
So normally we have most of our exercise classes take place in here. All of our larger activities, if we have a movie, if we have a musical presentation, lecturers, anything that is larger than 10 or 15 people, we have it in here.
Marge said the original plan was to have a plastic barrier that would allow for emergency access out the back and let the center continue using the front portion of the room.
So originally this was scheduled for February, and they've moved it up quite a bit, and we were told there would be draping. So it was supposed to be something we could kind of push through in an emergency and get out of the room. But as you can see, it's a solid wall. So we've actually had to close the room down because we have no second access out of here or egress. So if there's an emergency in the kitchen, we couldn't get anybody out. So we have closed this room, and we are now working out of the Grandview barn. So most of our activities are going down there if they've taken place in the Murray Kelly Room originally.
As said, the work was originally scheduled for February, but there is a bright side to the delay, specifically the bright summer sun that is out now and wouldn't have been in the middle of winter.
I think if it had happened in February, the nice thing is the whole room would be done at once instead of doing it part way and then waiting until next February. The upside for me is that people can still get outside. So if we close this room and we have to cancel an activity, people can go out and sit on their front porch, they can go do something, they can garden, they can go shopping, they can go outside with friends, they can take a walk in their neighborhood. If it was in February, they'd be stuck in the house.
When the work is complete, there will be some storage improvements, and a safety issue will be addressed.
We're not going to see a ton of immediate benefits, but the very first benefit we're going to have is that it eases my mind about getting people out in an emergency. So in the past, the second egress out of this room, which is the exit only, not an entrance, had stairs. So anybody with a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, we really couldn't get out if there was a fire in the other room. So there's going to be a ramp. We're putting in a ramp now so we can get everybody out easily and quickly in an emergency. And anyone who's come to this room, to this area of town, knows that we've had junk all the way around the room. So we've had tables and chairs and cabinets and whatnot. And so we're going to have a big cabinet in the back, along the back wall, which is going to be quite large, that we can put the tables and chairs away. So when you walk into the space, it's just a clear and free space.
There is also work being done on the entrance to the building. Marge said when it is complete, the senior center will have an official front entrance complete with a reception area that will be a more welcoming space for guests and will have someone who can direct them to where they need to be. She gave us an update on the work being done and what will be different on the outside.
They put up a fence, which was really exciting, and then we waited a few weeks, and then they came and they tore up the concrete. And I think they're doing a little bit more work to figure out what they're doing. And then they're going to fill this in, and we're going to have, there'll be a canopy going from the front door down to where I'm standing along the building for people catching the bus. And we're going to have some green space, there'll be some bushes, and there'll be some seating areas in front here so people can sit and, on a beautiful day like this, enjoy the weather.
At the Burlington Senior Center, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
Those of you who might remember, the Senior Center is a former center school which was built in 1935, a Depression-era WPA building. They don't build them like that anymore. A startup company that works on cancer research is set to open in Burlington. Last week, the Planning Board approved a site plan waiver for a change of use at 78 Cambridge Street that will allow Cambridge Interventional to set up office space and a small research and development lab at the location. According to papers filed with the town, Cambridge Interventional will perform engineering activities related to the development of medical devices used in cancer therapy. The letter to the town states all operations will be quiet and will not produce any hazardous waste or disturbances to the environment or the neighborhood. Additionally, Cambridge Interventional does not engage in the fabrication of electronics industry's components, such as printed circuit boards or semiconductors. The planning board did not have many questions for representatives from the company. There was some discussion on the size of the parking lot, which is small, but Cambridge Interventional General Manager Peter Chantillis said it would be sufficient for his small staff. Local residents have been hard at work learning about public safety and related subjects. The Middlesex County Sheriff's Office announced that it concluded its inaugural Special Citizens Academy with a graduation ceremony and lunch for the 18 participants who completed the 4-week program. The program is designed for adults with developmental disabilities who have an interest in public safety. The Special Citizens Academy provided participants with the opportunity to learn more about the Middlesex Sheriff's Office and its functions. Graduates of the Academy included both independent participants and groups from local agencies such as the Valley Collaborative, Northeast ARC, Middlesex ARC, and Triangle Inc. Participants attended classes on issues such as internet safety and awareness, fire safety, and first aid and scam prevention. They also received demonstrations from the MSO's K-9 unit, SWAT team, and mobile operations unit. There is already interest in the next session. Middlesex Sheriff's Office has already received interest from individuals to attend the next Special Citizens Academy. If you or someone you know would like to participate, contact the Office of Community Affairs at 978-495-7410. The Burlington High School class of 2017 had its graduation ceremony on Sunday. That night, the graduates partied hard at the all-night grad party, a program designed to give the class one final hurrah in a safe and alcohol-free environment. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris was there and has this report.
Salute to the seniors of the class of 2017. On Sunday, June 4th, Burlington High School held the class's graduation ceremony on Varsity Field. Later that night, they had their all-night grad party at King's Bowl on 3rd Ave, giving the students one last hurrah as a class. The place was jam-packed, with a wide variety of activities for students to choose from, including bowling, pool, air hockey, beanbag toss, spray brush tattoos, and much more. Graduates shared their fondest memories of high school and what they are planning to do next year.
University of Vermont.
What are you majoring in?
Nursing.
How'd you decide on that?
See, I've always wanted to be a doctor because I've always liked the science behind medicine. But after a while, I decided I wasn't ready for the money and the time and the school, so I decided nursing's a better balance of that. I'd have to say my time with the track team, time with my coach, time with my teammates, it's been one of the most memorable 4 years of my life.
I'm going to Providence College. I am majoring in business management. My favorite part of the last 4 years has to be the pep rallies. The pep rallies were always a fun time. Our class was always in unison. We always got to dress up goofy, wearing our class colors. Starting in freshman year, even though no one participated in freshman year and the chant was awful, it was still a lot of fun. And up until senior year, it was just always my favorite thing to do.
I'm going to Newbury College in Brookline, and I'm going to major in criminal justice. I guess being with my friends, we got a lot closer, and it was just fun to go through all the 4 years with them.
I'm going to the Marine Corps.
Nice. What made you decide to go into that?
It's somewhat of a family business. My brother was in the Marine Corps as well, so I decided when he joined that it would be a good idea for me to follow in his footsteps.
And what role are you hoping to go into?
I'm joining the infantry unit, which is basically a job or an MOS of the Marines. So it's basically the guys with the boots on the ground and what I like to say, the grunts. So,
what was your favorite moment about the last 4 years of high school?
I'd probably say the Thanksgiving football game. I mean, we didn't win, but still that moment itself was a lot of fun. And just being there with my family and being able to capture that moment with everybody was a great time. And, win or lose, I still was able to capture all the memories I had in high school. And, it was just a great time.
BHS Principal Mark Sullivan and Assistant Principal Richard Sheehan gave their thoughts on what accomplishments the class has made over the past 4 years at BHS.
A lot of different things. You know, I said in my remarks at graduation today, really gifted academic students, highly intelligent kids. We have a lot of great athletes, talented artists, musicians. You know, they really stood apart from other groups just based on their talent and their skill.
It's probably the largest collection of personalities. A lot of personalities in this class, which I really like.
Class of 2017 President Billy Corrigan shared his memories of the class of 2017 and how he felt being hypnotized during the Hypnotist show.
I'm feeling fantastic. I got hypnotized earlier. That was fun. It's all coming back to me now, which is a little weird. It feels a bit like a dream, but it was really fun. These last 6 years that I've lived here have been the best in my life, and I am really grateful to everyone who's helped to be a part of it.
Congratulations, class of 2017. We wish you the best of luck at whatever you do. From Kings, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Anyone who wants to vote in the upcoming special state primary to select a candidate to replace the late Senator Ken Donnelly, but who can't make it to the polls can still participate. Absentee ballots are now available at the town clerk's office. Town clerk Amy Warfield said the application deadline is Monday, June 26 at noon. Voters unable to vote at the polls on primary day due to absence from the town during the hours the polls are open, physical disability or religious obligations are eligible for an absentee ballot. To apply, voters or one of their family members must turn in a written request to the town clerk's office by the deadline. Voters may apply and vote in person at the town clerk's office or through the mail. If the ballot is to be mailed, apply far enough in advance so that the ballot can be mailed and returned by the close of the poll. Applications are also available at www.burlington.org. Hospitalized voters must have been admitted after noon of the 5th day before the election. The notice from the town clerk states they must apply themselves and designate in writing who may hand carry the ballot to them. Applications can be made anytime, however. The ballot must be returned by the close of the poll. The polls for the special election will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, June 27th in the Burlington High School Gymnasium. It appears that summer weather has finally arrived. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our weather center to see what's in store for the weekend and next week. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Cassiola to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And let's start out with a look at our almanac here. And of course, look at this. No surprise, we're going to actually be starting out the period below average in terms of temperatures. We're only going to see temperatures in the mid-60s on Fridays. We're going to see a coastal storm making a very, very close pass to us here in the Burlington area and over the rest of southern New England. Looking at it, looks like it's going to stay mostly offshore at this point, maybe bring us some showery conditions, but other than that, it doesn't look too bad. But if you're really looking for summer weather, you're really going to enjoy the 7-day when we see that, that's for certain. These very chilly temperatures are definitely not going to be staying around for us for too much longer. But look at this as we get towards the end of the period, getting into the middle of June. Can you believe it? We're already almost done with the first week of June, and the actual official start of summer is just around the corner. As you can see, the days are just about as long as they get now at this point. So we have maximum daylight now, which is a great thing. And of course, as you can see with our average highs, our temperatures are going to keep getting warmer till we get to about the middle of July. And as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with the weather for the next 7 days. Now, starting out on Friday, here again is this storm that I've been talking about. This was actually a system that started way down in Florida, and it's actually brought almost 20 to 30 inches of rain to parts of southwestern Florida. And it's going to be kind of creeping its way up the coast. And as of right now, it looks like it's going to stay just a little bit too far east of us here in southern New England to bring us some real heavy, heavy rain. Best chance of really heavy rain with this storm is going to be on the outer Cape and Nantucket. But here in the Burlington area, looks like we're going to have maybe just some showery conditions or maybe light rain at the moment at the worst. But again, once this storm kicks out of here, look at all of the nice sun. This is going to be a high pressure center building in from New York State. This is going to set up shop eventually southwest of us here in New England. And that is going to bring a really, really warm southwesterly flow up into southern New England. In fact, by the time we get to about Monday and Tuesday, we could see temperatures as high as the mid-90s here in the Burlington area. So if you like the hot weather, that's definitely something to look forward to. But as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit of another something that's denoting that we're definitely into the summer season. Now, this is a graphic from the National Hurricane Center, and some of you may be asking, geez, why is he showing this to us right now? Well, again, this is the first graphic, again, from the National Hurricane Center for the Atlantic hurricane season, which started on June 1st. And as you can see out here in the basin, as of these past few days, there really is nothing that's going to be coming to New England that we have to worry about in terms of tropics. Now, we'll have to see how the season goes for the tropics so far, and as we go into the next few weeks, I'm going to be showing you some graphics about where we're expecting for tropical weather here in the southern New England area, especially around Burlington. But for right now, nothing to worry about in that terms. As we go ahead to the 7-day forecast, all you're going to have to worry about is finding your sunglasses for a change, which is something we haven't seen too much of. As you know, a few days ago, we had one of our coldest high temperatures ever in June, when we saw a high temperature of only 50 last Tuesday with some heavy rain. But again, look at Friday, starting out kind of dreary, something we've been used to for a lot of the spring. But look at this, as soon as we get to Saturday and Sunday, sun is going to come out, that southwesterly wind is really going to turn on, and we're going to bring some major league heat in here by the time we start next week. Look at this. By Monday, temperatures up in the mid-90s with high levels of humidity. So it's going to definitely be hazy, hot, and humid, that's for sure, coming up. Really not very comfortable for sleeping, as we see here on Monday night. Temperatures are only going to get down to the 70s. But again, as we get towards Wednesday, we're going to see a little bit of a cold front come through. Going to knock our temperatures back down to seasonable levels into the mid-70s. So by the time we get to the middle of the week, we're going to have some absolutely beautiful conditions. And of course, as we get towards the end of the period, looking like we're going to ramp the heat back up, and it looks like we're going to be up into maybe the mid and maybe even upper 80s as we get towards the beginning of next period. So that's going to be something, if you're looking for the summer weather, that you're really going to enjoy. So folks, once we get by Friday, we have a great stretch of weather coming up here. So I hope you get out there, enjoy your weekend, and enjoy this great summer weather coming up.
Hello and welcome to your community calendar. It's back. The annual Harvest Fest returns to Burlington. The annual farmers market is back for the summer and fall season. It'll start on Thursday on June 15th and run every Thursday through October 15th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Grandview Farm. It's a great community event with a terrific lineup of local farmers, specialty food, vendors, and artisans. There will also be children's activities with live music and educational demonstrations. For more info, and if you would like to register for a vendor spot, please visit farmersmarketburlington.org. Summer is here, and that means the return of kid-friendly music on the town common. On Monday, June 19th at 6:30 p.m., the Burlington Rec Department is launching the Summer's Night Children's Shows at Simons Park and the town common, starting with a performance by the family-friendly music of Ben Rudnick and Friends. With countless awards to their credit, including 7 Parents' Choice Awards, their adventurous, high-energy blend of happy, upbeat acoustic music is guaranteed to entertain the entire family. Everyone is welcomed and the event is free. For more info, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. Looking to find that perfect item but don't want to pay full price? This event is perfect for you. On Saturday, June 24th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the St. Malachy's Church in Burlington is having their annual yard sale. There will be many items to shop for at the yard sale, including bicycles, clothes, shoes, books, small appliances, kitchen essentials, kids and baby clothes, toys, and much, much more. There will also be a 50-50 raffle and a bake sale. If you would like to rent a space, the cost is $25. Please bring your own table. Everyone is welcome to this event, and it is free. For more info, visit stmalachy.org or call 781-272-5111. This has been your community calendar. I'm Ian Cassiola. Back to you in the studio.
It's playoff time for high school sports, and some Red Devil teams are still battling hard. We go now to Robert Paris for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Robert Paris for your BNEWS Sports Report. The spring sports season isn't over yet for Burlington High teams and athletes. On Friday at 4 o'clock, the softball team will play in the Division II North semifinals at Endicott College in Beverly against Swampscott. With a win, the Red Devils will play for the North title on Sunday at noon back at Endicott. In their first 2 tournament games, the girls beat Triton Regional by a 9-0 score behind a non-hitter from pitcher Christina Clark, and then topped Gloucester in the quarterfinals by an 8-3 score. The baseball team had an emotional postseason. Shortly before the tournament started, Coach Dan Hirsch's father passed away. Rallying behind their coach, the Red Devils, who made the playoffs with a below .500 record, defeated Wilmington and Masconomet Regional in dramatic fashion before finally falling to Danvers on Thursday. The tennis teams also made the tournament. The boys are in the playoffs for the 16th straight year. They lost to Reading in the first round, while the girls beat Arlington by a 3-2 score in the first round before falling to Concord Carlisle 4-1. Concord Carlisle went on to defeat Winchester in the next round. The lacrosse teams both suffered first-round defeats, but still wrapped up terrific seasons. The boys were edged by Melrose in a thriller 10-9, and the girls fell on Manchester 21-9, in a game that actually led 3-0 at one point. Finally, Burlington had several representatives at the All-State Track and Field Finals in Bridgewater on Saturday. For the girls, sophomore Julia Hovas was 25th in the 800-meter run. The Red Devil boys also had 3 scores as well. Senior Fernando Lamine was 2nd in the high jump and also took home 8th in the triple jump. Senior Ben Piot was 4th in the 400-meter run and 49.67 seconds. And senior Eddie Reese was 4th in the pentathlon. That's all for now. I'm Robert Paris. Back to you guys in the studio.
One place where there is always a lot happening is the Senior Center. We go now to Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald for the latest senior news.
Hello. Summer has had some trouble getting going this year, but the forecast says 90 on Monday. And after all of this chilly weather, no one is acclimated to it.
3 minutes.
So please be very careful with whatever physical activities you do outside next week. Make sure you are drinking enough liquid that's not coffee or tea. And if you start to feel at all lightheaded, head indoors or to shade and try to cool down. If you don't feel better in a few minutes, call 911. One of the first signs of heat exhaustion is confusion, and people don't always know when they are overheated. So make sure that you all check in on each other. Work has begun in earnest at the Senior Center and quite a bit ahead of schedule. We're having a couple cancellations, so make sure to answer the phone if a call comes in from Cambridge. That said, breakfast bingo is canceled on Tuesday. We will reschedule it later in the summer. Officer Lynn Reynolds will be in the leisure room on Monday, June 12th at 9 a.m. for coffee. Please feel free to bring any issues you have that you need help with. If she can't help you, she will refer you to someone who can. But you can also just come to chat. On Wednesday, June 14th at 2 p.m., John Riley from Atria will be doing a cooking demo for us. He never knows what he's going to do for us, but it's always a surprise, and it's also always delicious. The cooking demo will most likely happen at Grandview Farm in the barn. On Monday, June 19th at 12:30, we are showing the movie Wings in the leisure room at the Senior Center. The leisure room has sofas and big comfy chairs, a great place to watch a movie with friends or soon-to-be friends. Wings, starring Buddy Rogers, Richard Arlen, and Clara Bow, is a classic romantic triangle with 2 fighter pilots in love with the same woman during World War I. On Wednesday, June 21st, the Leahy Farmers Market begins after a 2-week delay due to the cool, wet spring. We will give out numbers beginning at noon, and we'll start giving out produce at 1. We will send out a call to last year's attendees to let you know where we will be. We will also have it posted on the bulletin board at the Senior Center when we get closer. Also, please note that the date for the supper with Brightview was incorrect in the newsletter. The actual date is June 21st. It is almost always on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. Our big event for June will be a kickoff to summer with a sing-along with Roger Tinknell, along with an ice cream social. The Council on Aging is sponsoring the ice cream, and the Burlington Cultural Council is sponsoring Roger Tinknell. Mr. Tinknell was at the center in 2016 for our volunteer appreciation, and our volunteers requested we bring him back so everyone could come, as he is very good. On Wednesday, on Wednesday, June 28th at 1 p.m., Karen Halloran will be at the center with Name That Tune. If you haven't come for Name That Tune before, you should do so. Karen has a lot of energy and everyone has a lot of fun. Lunch is also served. Life After Loss will continue with its time and day changes and will meet twice a month going forward. In June, Life After Loss will meet on Wednesday, June 14th and June 28th from 2 to 3 p.m. for anyone in any stage of grief. That's all for now. I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo is a picture of a picture. It shows a photo taken by Burlington High School student Jessica James that is currently hanging in the gallery of the Griffin Museum in Winchester. She took part in the 12th version of Photosynthesis, the 5-month-long collaboration between the museum, Burlington High, and Winchester High, meant to give students a better understanding of photography as an art form. On Thursday, the museum held a special reception to kick off the exhibit of student photography. BCAT was there, and we will have a full news video next week. The exhibit runs through June 25th for anyone who wants to go and check it out. Great work on the photo, Jessica. Thank you. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of your family members and pets, whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. You can email your photos to BCAT at bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Horsford, Robert Parrish, Peter Brown, Ian Casciola, and who have I left out? Oh, Marge McDonald this week with Senior News. We're going to leave you with photos from Sunday's class of 2017 graduation ceremony that was held at Varsity Field. Thank you.